Goldfinger!
Tell him about when I pressed the button.
He's the man. The man with a gold finger.
I pressed the button with my Goldfinger.
His finger is gold.
So, fun fact, when I was a kid, and before I saw this film, I thought that it was about a guy who had a gold finger. And I had this image that he would shoot like gold powers from his finger and turn people gold. And then when we get to that bit later on with Shirley Eaton, I thought that he literally went pew,
Well,
and turned the woman gold.
Ben, you have just started the recording with your gold finger.
That's my Goldfinger memories. I'm done. That's all I have to say about Goldfinger. Night, everyone.
And we like to welcome you
I'm just going to watch the film in silence for the rest of the commentary.
once again
And when you start talking, every now and then just be like, Dan, shh.
to
Can I
the
watch the film? Do you mind?
comedy dining experience. The greatest comedy dining experience on earth, ... probably. And we're back with Bond.
He's the man.
The man with a gold finger.
With the Goldfinger.
His finger is gold.
That's how the song goes.
Mr.
Those are
Boldfinger.
the words.
I much prefer the sequel, Boldfinger. You don't, he's very forward.
His heart is cold. Golden words he'll pour in your ear, but his lies can't disguise what you fear.
But his name you must not fear, because his name must be said by everyone. Max Power.
Well, if you had a name like Goldfinger, you'd kind of have to get into the gold. I was going to say this later, but like he's called Goldfinger, right? And he's in the gold bullion business. What if he didn't want to be in the gold bullion business when he was a kid? Does he not have a choice?
No, Mr. Goldfinger, you must be a Goldfinger.
But Papa, I want to be a baker.
Don't want to.
Is your name Baker Finger? No, I didn't think so, you little twat. It's
Now-
Goldfinger.
Now go and play with your siblings, Copper and Dead.
I've built you an evil lair.
It's currently in the tree.
How nice. I wish my dad built me an evil lair.
That would have been nice. Best I had was a go-kart. One of the wheels was broke. I crashed it.
Would you like to play with us,
Crushed
Auric? No, I have to play in my evil lair with Papa.
Papa says if I don't feed the killer sharks, they'll die.
He has a gold finger!
Mr. Rolled Finger. Mold Finger. Ugh.
Mold finger.
Ugh.
I like mold finger.
Anyway,
He just turns people into mold.
we have been chatting shit now for nearly 5 minutes and we haven't actually even started the film.
So when the lion roars, you do the thing.
So, we're currently queued up to a black screen. I'll make the sync point up on the edit. You'll see it pop up.
Well,
I mean,
I'll sync you. Don't worry, guys. I've got this one.
Ben can shout when the lion roars, and I'll match it up because he helps me as much as I help me to help you.
I'm in control. I pressed record. This is my beat.
This is we're going to give him a sick beat. So, we are watching James Bond film number 3, Goldfinger.
Bond free.
Goldfinger.
The frequel.
Goldfinger.
That's the name of the film. Yes.
Goldfinger, and we're going to hit.
The name of the film we're watching is Goldfinger.
Queued up to a black screen. We're going to hit play now, and we're going to go
Ready?
in 3,
This is
2,
exciting.
1. Play Goldfinger.
Ah. Roar. Okay, the lion roared. So
Second roar.
second roar. Synced up. Good. Moving on.
We're underway.
Bum. Ba-da-ba-da-bum. No United Artists logo. Bit weird, but okay.
United Artists logo.
Still a stunt double, by the way.
That's not Sean Connery.
Doing the barrel. You can tell by the
blood
little hat.
doesn't look real. Is it not Hammer?
What?
Hammer blood.
Hammer blood.
Hammer blood.
Of course, it's not real blood. It's an optical effect.
I want real blood, Ben.
How would they film that in 1945?
They would have their methods. We open at
So this is the first sort of example they did, and they do this quite a few times, where the opening sequence would be like a total disconnect from the main plot. So the opening sequence before the titles come in would be almost like a little mini episode almost. So like this whole business with Bond in the South American plant.
There appears to be a she-gun.
I like to picture Q knocking that up.
Yeah, we definitely did. No, Bond did that in his spare time.
Did you notice the way it's sped up?
Yeah.
Conspicuously. They really had to get that shot over with. But yeah, this is the start of where, like, all this business with Bond in the plant doesn't relate to the main plot of the film, but it's just a nice little way to kick things off, I guess.
Absolutely, and the Blu-ray looks absolutely lovely of this, might I just add as well.
It does. It really pops. This is a very colourful film, and it really sort of comes out in this restoration.
Absolutely. Well, what I can say is, because I preview screened this before we did the commentary, just so that I'd know what was coming up.
What did you watch it on?
I watched it on videotape because I'm a hipster.
This is a world where even South American drug processing plants have ginormous ceilings and sets designed by Ken Adam.
Well, this was what I was going to say. The direction in this film looks dramatically different from the previous two films. It looks very much more action-focused, very much more on close-ups and
This is directed by a chap called Guy Hamilton, who went on to direct quite a few of them. And his style is kind of... He became linked with the more sort of brash side of Bond. So after this, he goes on to direct Live and Let Die, Man with the Golden Gun, Diamonds Are Forever. So he has a sort of reputation where, I love that, he has to sit underneath. Total bollocks. But
well, he's got dinner at 5.
So yeah, Terence Young did the first two. Terence Young, of course, fancied himself as a sort of gentleman of the world. So those first two films were very much spy thrillers in the spy thriller sense. Guy Hamilton was more into the sort of brash comedic side of Bond. So that's why his films are a bit more light in tone, a bit more crazy.
Probably why I get on with him a bit better.
Yeah. Nice optical effect and explosion there. You laugh at his nonchalantness.
It's just, what a bastard.
Connery does that really well.
Yeah.
Just like asked, mate.
Not even, mate.
I really want to see a film where I want to see the whole film of this, where there is a man who had the idea to put heroin in bananas.
Yeah. I imagine it would be a very short film.
There's an old urban myth that you know the Velvet Underground album,
yes,
with the banana on the cover, the Andy Warhol, that it was the banana had heroin in it.
Oh.
Now, first of all, one, who gives a shit if it did? Because what would be the point? And second of all, did that person watch this film?
Quite possibly.
And took a lot of acid that day and made the connection?
I could see it.
And now Bond is bending a lady, because that's just what ladies do in this film.
Now,
sex with Bond, that's their purpose.
Just to clarify, is this Bond's missus from the first two films?
Sylvia Trench? No, she's
Didn't
gone.
think it
Forget
was.
her.
Yeah, she's gone
You
now.
ain't seen her again.
Because I sat there and because the VHS quality was quite low, I wasn't entirely sure.
Did her accent not give the game away?
No, I wasn't paying.
The woman with the most reflective eyes in the world.
Wow, I wasn't paying attention to her accent.
No, that is just lady. Lady number one of many ladies in Bond's life.
Well, I hope that we see plenty more of Sylvia Trench in the other films.
She is literally gone forever. Nice little judo flip.
Judo chop.
Oh,
Chinese burn on the ankle.
I never noticed that. Chinese burn. If he says it while he does it, that'd be great.
Oh, quick, Bond! You're gonna have to stop him before he gets the gun. Quick, throw something in the water. Oh no!
Death by fan. Death by lighting effect. Dead.
I hope he comes up with a good quip for this.
I'd reckon he won't.
I reckon he might come up with something. Oh,
positively shocking.
He would have got away with just doing shocking. The fact he did it twice.
Well, that's your money shot right there.
That's him being proud of himself. That's him coming. Oh, I had a good quip. I'm going to say it again.
On the plane back to London, he was sat there going, "That was a good one."
On the plane back,
I was really good at that.
This is a recurring problem because I've now watched a couple more of these films in prep for doing these commentaries, and one of the issues that I've encountered a lot is Connery's delivery of these zingers and these one-off stings are constantly reminding me of Alan Partridge. Because he delivers them in such a way where I just imagine him like an hour from then sitting in a restaurant somewhere going, did I have to say shocking twice?
He's not as good as Roger Moore at the quips, because Roger Moore just delivers them effortlessly. Connery kind of chucks them away a bit, but Connery delivers them with a kind of urbaneness. Like, he doesn't want to say it, but he has to.
Yeah.
Roger Moore's Bond seemed to actively revel in doing them. Eagle-eyed viewers will note that a lot of the scenes that are projected against this lady's bits, not all of them seem to have made the final cut.
Really?
Not that those scenes have ever surfaced, like.
Well, you know.
If
they didn't turn up in the 50th anniversary, they're not turning up again.
A few words for Shirley Bassey. She apparently... I know that there's the famous story about Tom Jones passing out when he did Thunderball, because that note at the end, and I think Shirley Bassey always did the same.
Oh.
I think Continuity Girl, a very of the time credit there.
Yeah.
Was it matter if she's a continuity girl? Maybe she's a continuity woman.
Certainly can't have a continuity man. They're much too busy doing script writing and technical things.
It's like I always like the credit. I always find the credit best boy weird.
Yeah. I mean, it implies one of two things. Number one, that there can't be a best girl, and number two, where's the worst boy?
But that appears to be a scene from Russia with Love against her legs.
Oh, yes, it's the whole helicopter exploding.
Yeah. Title designed by Robert Brownjohn, not Maurice Binder, who went on to... who is, like, associated with the iconic titles. Screenplay by Richard Maybaum, who would write many, many of them. I think he wrote the most.
Oh, John Barry's good.
Yeah, John Barry's here, making his stamp on the sound. Everything kind of... This is the film where everything you kind of... people know and like about Bond, it all kind of comes into effect. This is like the codifier.
Hey, I'm glad that Sean Connery's in this film, because he's got an old finger.
That is no way to talk about Sean Connery's willy.
No, then it's mold finger.
Oh, God.
Too many ladies.
Welcome to Miami Beach. Shame that Sean Connery never stepped foot in Miami Beach.
Because he was scared of spiders.
Because he was scared. Too many spiders in Miami. Little nice little callback there, Dan. I like
That was a reference.
Nice little callback reference.
Let's sprinkle some of them in
For
every
your loyal
episode,
fans.
Yeah. We've got a t-shirt line starting next month, just a spider written on it.
I always find this funny. These are some, like, nice little money shots of Miami. And then we cut to Bond in a minute, and he's just against, like, a wall in Pinewood.
Yeah. There were some shots here that looked really strange, like they were back projected.
Well, that's because Sean Connery never actually went to Miami Beach. The only actor who went to Miami Beach was the chap who plays Felix.
Well,
whose name escapes me. I think it's Secklinder?
Possibly.
This chap here.
Yeah.
He was the only guy who actually went to Miami. None of the other actors did.
Well, it's because we already established that Sean Connery wouldn't go because of the spiders.
Because look, there he is there. Nice, big Miami thing. But you'll see in a minute some back projection that looks a bit iffy.
And... Oh, okay.
So that's your set in Pinewood. So now we're just in cold, freezing Pinewood now. With ginormous lights to make it look sunny. It actually does look pretty good, like... Oh, I'm gonna...
Oh, dear. Oh, God. That slap is powerful, isn't it?
It's so loud on the mix.
It's louder than some gunshots in this film.
It is. He's had quite a few.
I feel very uncomfortable with that. Oh, and suddenly we're in Terror the Autons vision. Fantastic.
Yeah. But no, the shots here in the hotel don't look half bad. I mean, I wouldn't have thought that they were done in the studio.
No, I thought that, I'll be honest with you, I thought that this was a set location.
No, this is a set, but it's a set built in Pinewood.
Well, like a location.
That's what I mean. So Sean Connery in that little flannel shirt was probably freezing his tits off. There's our baddie, Gert Frobe.
Oh, what's his name? It's a Divine.
No, it's not Divine, it's Gert Frobe. He appeared in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Oh, he's the king.
Yes.
In Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Another Ian Fleming creation, incidentally.
Of You're My Little Chuchi Face.
Like that's see that blue wall?
Yeah.
It's so obviously a blue wall.
Yeah.
It's not a sky.
See, on the videotape version of it, it looks like sky.
But the Blu-ray, you can see like the creases.
Just shows it up. Yeah. That's clearly back projection.
I bet the video of this disguised that a lot better.
Yeah, it masks it so much better. A lot of this looks actually quite believable.
Yeah.
I mean, you could still tell that something wasn't quite right, but it looks a little bit better.
I always liked how Bond sort of like, not vendetta, but sort of like his war against Goldfinger doesn't always start off with him going after a bad man. It's just because he cheats at cards.
Yeah.
And Bond's probably like, you cad.
I can't have that.
Bond does not like cheaters.
And yet, he's probably one of the biggest ones in cinema history.
That's not a back projection.
That's He's in Miami.
He's in Miami. I don't care what you say, he's in Miami.
Yeah.
They're in Miami right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm in Miami right now. Partying up in my blue flannel shirt and shorts.
If I remember this film correctly, he's about to be in something else very soon too. You can't go in there.
She's. I like how not much protest on her part.
No, really, she should have called security.
There's a man literally just broke into someone else's. Ah, fuck it.
Whatever. I'm not being paid enough.
He's wearing a blue flannel shirt. He's fine.
He's going to be all right.
And there's Shirley Eaton playing Jill Masterson. There's a scene coming up later that would make her famous for the rest of her life.
Is that the bit where she gets with the dog?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
No, Dan, this isn't one of your video nasties.
That was one of my favourite tapes, if I remember correctly.
This isn't one of your video nasties. This film has class. This film about a man in a blue flannel shirt who harasses women has class, damn it.
Is a wine bore, and did I mention harasses women a lot?
He's not a wine bore. He's a brandy bore.
Well, he doesn't like. In Dr. No One from Russia with Love, he does mention wine quite a bit as well, though.
He just likes things to be just so. Everything has to be perfect. He's a man of refined tastes. Only drinks brandy if it's been cooled by Eskimos in
Saint-Tropez.
Yes. I always thought that was weird, like cheating in cards. I mean, it's not a very ethical thing to do, but is it technically a crime? Maybe it is. I don't know.
I suppose if money is being exchanged for it, then there'll probably be.
That's a good point, actually, because I guess it could be done for fraud, couldn't you?
Well, yeah, it'd be like $10-15 million being moved randomly. It'd be a bit.
But I don't know if the card game he's having is like 1 million stakes.
Looks like your luck's changed, Goldfinger.
Looks like you're out of a job, Goldfinger.
We should call you Copperfinger.
He broke a pencil, that's how you know he's bad.
Oh, no. Terrible.
I'm beginning to like you, man I've just met. Literally.
Literally a few seconds ago. Who broke into my room.
You know how I said that this sets a template for every film to follow? This is the template for Bond meets Lady. They exchange maybe 3-4 lines of dialogue and then get to the bonking.
And then good old Rumpo.
Because why? Because why waste time?
Yeah. Oh dear. The salad will have gone warm by now.
Nice buffet though.
It puts good spread on.
Spread. A lot of oysters.
Smells a bit. Oh dear.
Well, why oh dear?
Why is she? She's got his shirt on and everything.
That's sexy.
Well, I prefer the shirt off.
It's considered sexy for a woman to wear a man's shirt.
Is it?
I think.
Uh-oh.
I wouldn't know really.
It's not sexy for a man to wear a woman's shirt.
And there you go, Dan. That is the sexism inherent in our society.
If Connery was wearing her shirt, we wouldn't be sitting here going, "What a man!"
Look, it's hairy man chest.
How about yours? Oh dear.
That's one of the less inspired puns, isn't it? Something's come up. That's straight out of Carry On.
That's yeah. Just
carry on, Goldfingering her.
Oh dear.
It was bound to happen, Dan.
It was. We got there in the end.
Just get it out of the way.
We got there in the end.
Remember that guy I was supposed to be following?
This is his room, isn't it? That's inescapable, by the way. They've basically broken.
Oh, this is one of my favourite lines. In one line, he is a very, very snobby man about brandy, and he disses the most famous musical group of all time.
But how famous were they in 1965?
Massive. Absolutely massive. Beatlemania.
But how massive was Beatlemania, really?
Well, this film came out the same year as A Hard Day's Night. Their big, huge film that made them stars.
Oh, the one that had Albert Steptoe in it. And
yes, it had Albert Steptoe in it.
That was it. That was the only major star in that film.
Are you trying to say that, like, is the joke here that from Bond's perspective it's like Beatles flash in the pan?
Steptoe and Son. Classic.
Guitar music on the way out, Mr. Epstein.
It's all about classical now.
It's all about jazz.
Have you ever watched Steptoe and Son?
Uh-oh.
My God.
And she really was covered in painted in gold.
The duvet's ruined.
Remember reading somewhere they had to have her on her stomach. One, I mean, for obvious taste reasons, because otherwise you'd see her chest. And the other is that, like, she had to have... I was reading somewhere that she had to have, like, her stomach had to be kept unpainted because her body needed to breathe.
Oh.
Because if you cover someone in paint... Like, the character dies through skin suffocation. So she had to have, like, her stomach left bare so that she could actually breathe.
I'm pretty
and not suffer the same fate as her character.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure that QI debunked that quite recently.
Did they?
I'm going to check it.
Am I going to get the little klaxon sounding?
You might get it. Hang on, let me just have a look. QI gold
You can't cheat.
paints. Because I remember reading it, but I just want to be sure.
This also sets a template for elaborate, overcomplicated ways to murder people. Instead of shooting her, just... How would they have done it? Would they have pinned her down and then done it? Or... I don't know.
Right, okay.
There's everyone's favourite red-faced gentleman.
Oh, brilliant. I hope he has some good brandy. So that Bond can talk about it for 20 minutes.
Terrible brandy. Bond's surprised he sticks around this shithole job.
He could move
Or
to
the brandy that's on offer.
He could go to the CIA and have bourbon whenever he wanted. QI. An urban legend spread around Eton that stated...
Oh my God. Oh,
We've
no.
got a phone call!
Oh no.
In the middle of a commentary of all things.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. Check it out, man.
I'm gonna... Shall I take the phone call?
Yeah, take it live on air. Live, everybody.
Hello? Hello? Are you alright? Yes, I just want to let you know that we're being recorded right now for Dan's YouTube thing.
You're live.
And you're live at the moment.
I'm on speakerphone.
No, you're not on speakerphone, but my voice is being recorded, so just so you know.
Okay, Dimitri.
How are you? We're watching Goldfinger. Yes, that's how the song goes. How are you? How are you, person whose name I won't say on a recording because I don't want to dox you? I'll speak to you in a bit.
Ben is having a private
No, it's okay. Dan's pissing himself because he can hear you singing down the phone. Dan, she's singing. She's going to get your video copyright striked.
We've already sang every variation of Goldfinger there possibly is out loud in voice. So.
Oh dear. She says hi.
Hello.
I'll speak to you in a bit though. You too. Bye. Bye. That was the wrong number.
Cool, blimey. Was that a call off the missus?
I really wish they'd do that on more professional commentaries.
Well, David Lynch doesn't he, at one point?
No, on the Razorhead.
Yeah.
No, he calls someone.
Oh.
But to be fair, it's to call someone to talk about making the film. It's not just an unrelated phone call.
I think there should be more unrelated.
He rings the actress who plays the girlfriend.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not as if it's not like someone just rings him when it's like, hello?
Hello?
Yes,
Who is
triple pepperoni. And don't you dare forget the anchovies, you motherfucker.
And if you do, I ain't paying. An urban legend spread that somebody could die from asphyxiation from gold paint specifically. However, this is physically impossible, and as of March 2015, anybody who's been covered head to toe in paint is alive and well. Therefore, covering your entire body in paint won't cause you to suffocate, no matter how much Goldfinger wants you to.
Well, consider me debunked.
Debunked. Boom! Myth busted.
This is the scene that you were moaning about to me. You said that you don't like the fact that he's a bore about brandy.
Yeah, I get fed up with him when he's sitting here talking about his booze. Just drink it.
Just fucking drink it.
Just have it.
It's free booze.
It's there to be drunk. I don't have a problem.
What other job would you sit there with your boss talking about booze, and in a minute he's going to chuck a fucking gold bar on the table? That actor, by the way, it's funny we just spoke about Hard Day's Night because he's in A Hard Day's Night.
Oh, right.
He plays the fuddy-wuddy gentleman on the train who's like, "You kids and your rock music."
You long-haired layabouts, you'll see where you end up.
He's the one on the train who's like, "You should go to some other part of the train where you obviously belong."
Oh.
And John Lennon says, "Give us a kiss."
So, I take it that Connery's... Because, like I say, I've seen a film ahead of this. I take it that Connery's performance very slowly kind of devolves, both as he loses interest in the role and the script prompts him to be more and more libidious. Libidious?
When you say lose interest in the role, you mean he sounds like he's phoning it in a bit?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair to say. I mean, by Diamonds Are Forever, he's definitely phoning it in. By Thunderball and by You Only Live Twice. Well, we'll get to You Only Live Twice, but he was very, very obviously getting sick of it by then. He just could not be arsed anymore with the attention.
Bond, a harmless parking meter.
I'd say Connery goes in sort of like, this is like his peak, like in terms of like commitment to the part. Thunderball, he is kind of coasting along a bit, and he is just kind of like, but that's not Thunderball. That's Thunderball. Let's talk about Goldfinger.
Yeah.
I just love Q Ranch. I love the unsafe, hazardous health and safety. No health and safety involved whatsoever. People just shooting guns about.
I'm surprised in this day
Cars blowing up.
I'm surprised in this day of expanded universes that there hasn't been a Q spin-off film.
Well, they can't because Desmond Llewellyn's dead.
Well, no, but like, you know how they just replaced him with John Cleese? Sort of changed the letter.
Oh God, we'll get to that. Yeah.
They could just do a spin-off
License
set in...
plate, valid in all countries. 3 of them.
Not available in Russia. Yeah, they could do I reckon they could do a film, like a Fantastic Beasts type film where they have like an intern join.
What would a Q film be?
So it wouldn't be...
Q's function in these films is just to serve up and go, Bond, you're a cunt.
Yes.
Don't break my shit.
So Q would be like a Dumbledore figure in this scenario. So he would basically oversee things, but he wouldn't actually be directly involved. And what I imagine it would be is an intern or some kind of new recruit.
Well, in the later...
joins the Q department and ends up getting put on a mission by accident or something.
To be fair, in the later films, they do give Q a bit more to do. He has quite a bit to do in License to Kill, funnily enough. But yeah, he's very good in this. Desmond Llewellyn, who plays Q, said that like his direction off Guy Hamilton, because he was originally doing it the same way, like he was like very chummy with Bond and like matey, and Guy Hamilton said, "No, you don't like this man. This man breaks all your stuff. You give him all this nice, expensive stuff that you've worked on for ages, and he comes back and it's all destroyed. So you treat him basically with contempt."
Yeah,
which I like.
Yeah, it works.
It's a good relationship.
Yeah. I mean, you could have a chummy contempt.
Well, he gets a bit more friendly with Bond over the years, but I like this early iteration where he's just like, Bond, I spent my life making this.
Stay out of my shed.
I spent my life making a magic car that has an ejector seat.
Why have you broken my magic car that had an ejector seat?
Love this.
That's him told.
He does have a face like, right.
Get thee gone. You were frit.
I'm not the one who built a magic car.
How many magic cars are constructed?
It's quite several. More than a few.
More than a few magic cars.
Many of them with lucrative opportunities for product placement as well.
I do,
which is always nice, always good for the pension.
I do enjoy that this Bond villain is just a big bloke.
What do you mean?
He's just a slightly chunky bloke who's got a lot of money, and that's about it. Most Bond villains kind of have a gimmick, they've got a scar or they've got a bullet in their head.
This guy has a stereotypical Korean henchman.
Well, yeah, but his stereotypical Korean henchman comes like an add-on, like DLC for this. Goldfinger himself...
I always want to meet the story of how Goldfinger and Oddjob met. There's your spin-off film. There's your... Now...
Well, funnily enough, it's a very long and quite interesting story.
Now, I'm going to be the actual director now. Originally, this golf scene went on for about 4 years in the first edit, but we trimmed it down to 2 years because, we had to get to the action.
Of course, for the director's cut, we put half a year back in.
Now, I will say, saying that, as long as this golf bit goes on for, I'm actually quite fond of it because I think that there's a lot of interesting...
Is that literally Nazi gold, sorry?
Yes. Well, in real life or in the film? In the film, it's Nazi gold.
It's got an iron eagle on it.
I don't think in real life.
No, I don't think it's real Nazi gold.
They have these things in films called props, and they probably just made it.
Did you tell me that Oddjob eats dogs?
In the book, yeah.
Do you want to elaborate on that at all?
No.
No.
Read the book, you Philistine.
I refuse.
Get it from the library.
I'm an audiobook man, you know that.
What's a library? Yeah, I was saying, like, a lot of Bond fans, this golf scene has become a bit of a stick to beat the film with, saying, it goes on too long. But I think there's quite a lot of interesting stuff going on here, and I like the fact that it's like Bond and Goldfinger have quite an interesting relationship. A sort of...
I didn't notice it when I watched it for the first time. I didn't notice it being overly long. And I thought there was a lot of interesting stuff that was sort of building their relationship up. Because
a lot of people go on about this, it was boring, get to the action.
Yeah.
But it's like, for me, this is not just with Bond films, but action films in general. I think that you have to have the characters there first before you get to the action, because then you care about the action.
Well, this is the thing. I think of the 4 Bond films I've seen, what's been the case is the villain has been this kind of shady character who's only really properly turned up in the last half an hour and only really had a lot of screen time in the last half an hour. But with this film, they purposely go out of their way to build up that relationship between Bond and the baddie.
Yes.
So it kind of drew me more towards it. If it wasn't for the fact that Connery's Bond in this film is a massive lechy perv, and he's really boring when he talks about his drinks, and he also has some of the worst puns ever known to man that he delivers very poorly.
You're saying you're on Goldfinger's side for the most part.
If it wasn't for that, I'd really like this film in general.
I really wanted Goldfinger to win at golf.
You know,
it goes on longer in the book. I think about 30 pages is dedicated to golf alone.
I was going to say, Oddjob, that wasn't done specifically for this game. He does just randomly drop golf balls every hour on the hour.
You could say drop the ball. Joke. Moving on. That was a joke. A humorous vignette.
So, is Oddjob human?
No, Dan. He's a Terminator.
Because
cross media.
Because Bond threw a gold brick at him and he didn't even fall over towards the end of the film.
This again setting the template for henchmen who have superpowers. It seems.
Superpowered.
Oddjob's superpower is that he cannot die. He's like Baron Samedi.
Yeah.
Before Baron Samedi, he's immortal.
You just throw things at him. You can hit him.
And where does one acquire a hat with a steel brim that can decapitate other people?
He made it in DT.
DT?
Year 8.
Oh, right. I wonder what you meant when you meant DT then.
No, year 8 DT, mate.
I thought you meant the delirium tremens.
He'd only got one GCSE. It was in metalwork.
Oddjob has a GCSE in
metalwork.
Golf caddying.
No, well, yeah.
I was wondering about Bond's little mate there.
Yeah, I to be honest, I don't know his name. He just sort of turns up.
We don't hear or see of him ever again.
Yeah.
He's just kind of there. I wonder if he thought he was going to be Bond's sidekick for the films. That actor thought, yes. I'll be like his Robin.
I'm in here, mate. I'm in here, mate. Drinks for everyone, I'm in.
Yes.
What do you mean I'm not coming back for the next scene? Right, everyone take the drinks back to the bar.
I was into golf for about 2 minutes many years ago until I broke my mate's foot. I told you that story.
No.
I'm sure I've told
No,
you
you haven't told me the story.
I've never told you the story.
You've never told me the story.
Oh,
lay it down on us, Daddy-o.
A chap who will remain nameless, who was being really annoying and not very particularly nice to me, and we were messing about with golf clubs because we went for a phase where we all got golf clubs. We didn't really play proper golf. Like, we never went to a green and played. We just get a ball on a field and just whack it around, basically just being knobby little teenagers with new toys. And he's been really. He said or done something really twatty, and he put his foot on the golf ball. And my intention was to swing the golf cue, and stop it just before it hit his foot. I didn't stop it in time, and it hit his foot.
Ew, that's painful.
Yeah, but it's fine.
That's is he still able to walk?
Yeah, probably.
Probably.
His dreams of becoming a sandal model are over now, but you know.
Oh,
No,
easy.
he's survived, of course. Not my finest moment, really, but
For the sake of prosperity.
it didn't make me want to pursue a career in golf. I'll say that.
Well, you know, I mean, some things are best left to the professionals. And I feel that your talents are better shared in the company.
Do you ever watch Cinema Sins?
I've seen a few of them.
They really fucked me off in this when they did their video of this film.
Yeah.
And Goldfinger just had a line then where he says about, oh no, he says it now. Twice our paths have crossed now. And CinemaSins are like, what are you talking about? You haven't met him before. It's like, yes, he has. He's talking about Miami.
Yeah, the bit where he talks through the walkie-talkie.
Because Goldfinger knew it was Bond.
Yeah, because he said, my name is Bond. Hello. Hello, my name is James Bond.
And I was like, ding, Sin. I was like, shut up.
Yeah, take that one back.
Don't like those videos.
Thumbs down.
Yes.
Remember to like and subscribe, guys, for more comedy dining experience fun.
I like Goldfinger's car.
Yeah, it's basically Bessie.
It is basically Bessie. Yeah.
Basically Bessie is the title of my next period drama.
The Third Doctor would have sorted Goldfinger out. He'd have just given Venusian Aikido his ass.
2-second job.
He'd just come up to Odd Job and gone, ha! And then that would have been it.
Yeah. That was
Oddjob fucking hates golf. He finds it so boring.
And yet he lays a ball every night.
That's his symbolically saying, why do I have to play this shitty game?
For reference at this juncture, I feel it important to mention that Ben is drinking Jack Daniels tonight.
You're trying to imply that I'm drunk, but I'm not. I started it.
I am on Diet Coke and will be having cider later. But not too much,
So you know you're a baddie when you have a personalised number plate.
On the food front, we have donuts, which Ben won't eat.
I always think you're a bit of a twat if you have a personalised number plate and you're not rich and famous. I also think you're a twat if you are rich and famous and have a personalised number plate. Speaking of food, Dan, are we putting our food in after the film?
And Ben has chocolate buttons. Yes, we have 2 pizzas, which we will be picking up when we watch the second film of tonight, which will be the next commentary.
Sounds like a plan.
So you have that to look forward to in the next video, which...
I always like films with old airports. Like with the old, like, where you'd have to be on the actual runway itself.
Yeah.
I don't know, I just find that really cool.
I mean, I'll be honest, the last time I went abroad, we had to walk across the airstrip to get into the plane.
Oh, we did that in France, actually, last year. And I remember when it was me and that strange woman who just rang me, whose name I don't know.
Oh, yes, the mystery woman.
Mystery woman. We were in France and some guy was... they were, like, refueling one of the planes. And it was, like, some of it had spilled, like, a bit of fuel. Some guy had a fag. And he was like... they were telling him to put it out. And I thought he was going to chuck it on the floor. And then I thought, if he throws it on the floor, we all die. Literally. It was one of the passengers, by the way. Just a little fag on the runway. Because apparently he just thought, we're outside.
Well, it's outside, isn't it? It's legal. Fight you.
It's a French bloke. He was just like, you know...
I'm surprised
outside, I can smoke.
You see, this is the thing. If that was a man, Bond would have run him off the road.
Oh, that man would be dead.
Yeah. Not just like...
Killed by the actual sadist, James Bond.
Not just like injured or like knocked into a field somewhere. He'd be doing a full-blown Italian job off the end of the cliff, on fire, burning and exploding until he hit the ground. But because it's Totty.
It's the Totty of... the sister of dead Totty. Interesting that Bond never actually makes it with her. She dies before he gets the chance.
Well, you know, sisters. Technically.
He shags her in the book, I believe. Well, it's been a while since I read the book. Goldfinger's not one of my favourite of the books.
I like the fact she didn't...
Ian Fleming's weird fantasies and prejudices really come out in the book.
Do you want to tell us any interesting facts? That's really bad back projection.
It's great what you're on about.
Do you want to tell us any interesting facts that are in the novel that aren't in the film?
Well, the one that always stuck out to me was when the Goldfinger's henchmen in this are all Asian, which is obviously a bit suspect.
That's a bit racist.
And but it's never brought up, by the way. Oh,
No.
hang on, it kind of is. But
Does that mean it's not racist? Because
No.
he's got a load of
it doesn't excuse
Asian
it.
henchmen, but he
But
never
Bond-
mentions it.
There's a passage where Bond notes something about the shifty-eyed villains or something.
Oh, you
And
mentioned
the natural...
this.
Oh, Goldfinger says something about the natural cruelty of the Korean people.
You mentioned this in an earlier commentary. You said that they were shifty-eyed Koreans or something like that.
Maybe I'm paraphrasing, but there's a line in the book where Bond is like, he says something like, I knew they were evil because they were Korean and the natural cruelty of the Koreans.
The natural cruelty of the Koreans.
Yes, and it's just Ian Fleming's horrible wartime beliefs coming up.
Jeez.
Incidentally, this is Ian Fleming would sadly never get to see this film. He visited the set, he met Sean Connery and Anna Blackman, and then he died before it was released, so he never got to see this.
Thank God.
That's not a nice thing to say.
Well, he wrote.
I'm glad he's dead.
He wrote really racist books.
But he also created one of the most iconic characters of Western media.
The child catcher from Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Exactly.
I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, look, I don't want to sound like I'm excusing racist, sexist beliefs, but it is a true thing when you say that Ian Fleming is a product of the time. He served in the war. He came from a certain generation where that kind of attitude was not, I don't want to say normalized, but it wasn't weird.
Well, yeah.
It wasn't weird to sort of say unpleasant things about Koreans or women or, you know.
But that doesn't necessarily make it right.
No.
It's not unusual, but it's not justifiable necessarily.
No one's saying it's right, but, you know.
It is of its time.
And Ian Fleming is was a very talented writer.
Mm.
But Ian Fleming always reminds me of Stephen King in that very talented writer, but a lot of his thoughts and fantasies often seep into the story.
Yeah. Yeah.
TM. She's into transcendental meditation.
Oh, I thought it stood for...
Get David Lynch on the phone.
I thought it stood for Toilets Matron. It was being delivered to Kenneth Williams.
I always like the way Connery... That was a good line reading when she said she's into ice skating. He goes, lovely sport.
A lovely sport.
It's like he's trying to make the atmosphere awkward.
Jeez.
One of the only women in this film who shows no interest in Bond.
That's a plus. So
No,
how
it's
many is
not.
it for and how many against? Is it 1 against and like 8 million for?
What, in terms of women Bond does not sleep with in the series? That'd be a good video to do.
No, it wouldn't. It'd be really
Nice
horrible,
little
slightly
Nice
misogynistic.
little comp. Well, he never gets with Moneypenny. for
No
a
matter
start.
how much they want that to happen.
Well, how much she wants it to happen.
I don't know, he seems fairly keen. It's just wrong place, wrong
No,
time,
Bond-
90% of the
No,
time.
Bond just knows who's in control. He knows that he's just stringing her along, the heartless prick.
Wow, what a bastard. So why am I supposed to like him again, Ben?
Bond's awesome. What are you about?
Why am I supposed to like him
He
again?
really likes brandy.
Well, I don't.
I like brandy.
I like whiskey.
I just don't get the chance to drink it very often.
I
remember. I have another another one episode of Ben's amusing life stories here.
Ooh,
When
did it.
I house sitting for my father and drinking an unmarked bottle, thinking it was like bourbon or whiskey, and it was brandy. I just swigged it because I'm really into. I like whiskey and I like bourbon, and I've. It's fair to say I've developed quite the tolerance for it. I can just drink it and feel. I obviously still get drunk, but I don't get like sick or anything. But I didn't know how strong brandy was, so I just swigged it.
Oh yeah,
Like
that's
it was
real.
whiskey.
That'll knock you
I
out.
was just on the floor laughing.
Yeah.
I was dog sitting, so I just kept laughing at his dog. Just going, ha ha ha! You're a dog.
Did
You're
I?
a dog and I'm a man. Ha ha ha!
Did Did I ever tell you the first time I tried vodka?
I think maybe, I don't know.
Oh right, I'm
Go on.
gonna grab a cider very quickly.
I'll tell you my vodka story while drinking cider.
It's really funny. Right, okay, hang on. Intermission music.
You have terrible taste in cider.
Yeah, it was cheap.
Strongbow is so rubbish.
We were freebasing it as part of a gauntlet a few weeks ago.
Strongbow just tastes like the chemicals that they put in it.
Yeah, but the choice was pay more money for nice cider that we were going to basically shot. Or shot the cheap stuff. We shotted the cheap stuff. Lovely. So...
That sounded like a very healthy noise you just made. Goldfinger's very considerate. He gave all his henchmen nice shiny blue uniforms.
Oh, beautiful. See,
So you know they're baddies.
that's brand identity in motion. Why would Goldfinger give them blue outfits?
Because he likes discipline. He likes uniformity.
No, give them gold outfits. You're Goldfinger. You have a gold factory with gold bars.
That's a good point. But they can't wear. I thought you said actual outfits made of gold. That would be very. That'd be very encumbersome.
Put gold flake in. Why isn't he wearing gold? He's Mr. Goldfinger.
Because Dan, you know why he's not wearing gold?
on.
Because he's wearing a Nehru jacket. Because he's Asian. And in this film, if you're Asian, it's not good.
It's not good. Anyway, first time I drank vodka. I didn't know how strong it was, and I didn't realise that you didn't need to drink a lot of it to get drunk, particularly.
Well, it depends on your tolerance.
On your tolerance. I mean, I'm reasonably well tolerable. I would say that I've just had one sip of cider and I'm tonguing my ties up. I've got the eyes because I'm liking the ties up. So...
I got the eyes because I'm liking my ties up. I got the eyes. Sorry, go on.
So I bought this litre bottle of vodka, and I was thinking you just drink it like you could drink rum and coke.
Yeah.
So I was doing half and half measures, like in pint glasses. So half a pint of vodka, half a pint of coke.
Yeah.
And I drank it, and then I had one neat to see what it was like neat, and then I had another one to see what it was like neat. But I drank all of this.
Bond, you tithead.
Oh, you've done it now. You've done it now. I'll do worse than that. So I drank like 3 of them, and I felt fine because I drunk it all within an hour. And then it hit. And it didn't just it didn't creep in, it hit. So about an hour after I'd drunk it...
You got a hit of vodka.
Wham! And all I can remember is I started to go really woozy, and then I had to lie down.
You should try a vodka martini.
Shaken?
That would be very appropriate with it. I think I told the story in the last one, didn't I, about when I had one vodka martini.
I think you might have.
Yeah.
Was it any good?
As I said last time, probably no.
No. Oh.
And I felt like I'm such a twat for asking for one. Because it's a twatty thing to do.
Yeah.
Asking for a vodka martini shaken, not stirred.
You got to try it once. I would say.
You don't.
Well,
You can live your life without trying them.
No, I agree. But yeah,
they are not in the woods.
They are clearly not in the woods. But yeah, basically I ended up
they're in the woods, so why can't they be in the woods?
Because...
Tell me, Dan.
It's because he's scared of woodland spiders.
You can get spiders in nature, you know.
The spiders
are the fiercest killers in the animal kingdom.
Did you know that? It's all right.
Very amused.
That's napalm.
I love the smell of spiders in the morning. So I say love and hate. I hate the smell. I was thinking it's a shame that the Aston Martin is such an iconic symbol of this film, and it's such a cool icon. It only really gets used in this little chase around Oryx's factory.
Doesn't it turn up in Thunderball very briefly?
Oh, in this film, I meant.
Oh, right, yeah.
He does use the Aston Martin in subsequent films, and it turns up again in Thunderball. But the only really big standout scene in this film, I suppose it's better than in GoldenEye when they give him a magic car and then they don't use it.
Oh, I think because GoldenEye is one of the ones I've seen. Isn't that the one where it's remote controlled?
No, that's Tomorrow Never Dies. Which, that actually does get a big sequence. What I mean is in GoldenEye, they give him a BMW and they show off loads of gadgets, but then there's no scene with the gadgets.
That's rubbish.
What's the point?
What's the point of it?
It was just a BMW, so they could go ka-ching and then move on.
So anyway, to round my story off, I lay down on my bed and I couldn't feel my hands or feet, and I thought I was going to die for about an hour. And I don't mean die in the sense of it was a joke and it was funny, and then I got the feeling back. I meant my heart started slowing down, and I thought I wasn't going to be alive anymore.
Very dramatic.
It was ridiculous.
That's very dramatic, Dan.
And I slowly, I then eventually...
I had some not very nice nights in my youth drinking, but I never thought I was going to die.
Yeah, it was genuinely really bad, because I didn't realise
I
didn't realise how strong it was, and then I went to sleep, and then when I woke up I was terrifically hungover. And that was when I realised to only drink moderate amount of vodka. Hang on, that cut the head off a statue.
Well, death by hat.
Yeah, but she's not dead.
Yes, she is.
No, she's not.
Yes, she is, Dan.
No, she's not. She's just lying down very still.
That's such a strange thing you just said. She's not dead. Yes, she is. No, Dan, she's literally dead. The character is dead.
No, she's just sleeping.
So why does she not turn up again for the subsequent rest of the film?
She went home. She went home and...
Nice to know that Bond was indirectly responsible for the death of two sisters.
Yeah, that's a bit weird. That being said, though, earlier on you said she was one of the only girls who Bond doesn't get with, but then when was the time they could have got
That's why
together?
she died, Dan. Because Bond didn't bonk her.
Oh, shit, is that how it works?
Bond's penis saves the world.
Goldfinger.
If you think about it, Bond's penis in this film literally saves the world because it convinces Pussy Galore to go straight.
Yeah, that's a weird thing. I feel uncomfortable about this film in general.
I feel very comfortable.
I'm in my comfy pants and it still isn't.
I'm more comfortable on your bed than I have any right to be.
Oh, thank you. It's built for comfort, not speed.
It's nice to ramp up the sexual tension a bit, yeah.
Mm. Oh, I'm feeling charged.
Especially with one of the most erotic films ever made, Goldfinger.
Yes, clearly the most erotic.
Oh, this this little bit with the old woman and the machine gun. Apparently this was Alfred Hitchcock's favourite scene in this film.
Fantastic.
He watched... Because Sean Connery would later appear in a Hitchcock film either this year or the next year called Marnie, and with him and Tippi Hedren. And
of Raw fame.
Of Raw fame, yeah, and the Birds. And yeah, apparently Hitchcock was a big fan of this little bit with the old woman where she gets the machine gun out, which I can kind of see because it's quite a Hitchcockian thing almost. They should have had a Wilhelm scream.
Yeah. or a Monty Python. I think what makes the scene is the fact that she leans back as she pulls the trigger.
They're fucking loud and heavy and
annoying.
You would too.
I know the recoil means she has to, but it's just the image of an old lady like leaning back whilst firing the machine gun forward.
I wonder what part the old lady has in Goldfinger's operation. Does she know about his grand plan? Is she in on Operation Grand Slam?
No, she's...
I was really wanting to start a band called Operation Grand Slam.
Oh, yes.
I just don't know, it just sounded good.
You could always write a novel.
I'm trying to write a novel.
What's your novel about?
I don't want to tell you what the novel's about in case someone steals my great idea.
Well, you could make up a fake novel and tell me about that.
What would be the point? I could just say anything. It's about a giraffe on fire who goes to space.
Ow! That sounds brilliant.
It does sound really good, actually.
Yeah.
I do it myself.
Does he have a little monkey friend?
Now he does.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah.
10,000 copies.
But now Bond messed up.
J.K. Rowling will be recording the audiobook.
10 points. I thought that was a cool shot. I wonder how they filmed it. Did they do it in reverse maybe? Because the headlight stopped right next to the camera. If that car went an inch further, that cameraman would be
dead.
Well, he's probably dead now.
Why is he looking at his reflection?
He's just admiring his...
Stop it!
I think he's just proud of his handiwork. A little speedy up there, Bond collapsing.
I don't exactly what the PC term is for this.
What do you mean?
Is Odd Job remedial?
What?
Is he...
what does that mean?
Is he simple? Is he a mute
Basically,
child?
well, he's a mute, so I think that's the implication. Yeah.
Because he does a lot of things in this film where...
He's just a heavy. He's just a classic image of the scary big man.
But he smiles all the time.
Because that's meant to be intimidating. Like when Bond hits him in Fort Knox in a bit and he just smiles at him, which I always thought was really cool.
Yeah.
It's like if Oddjob could speak, he'd be like, you thought that'd work, didn't you?
Wrong.
So this is a nice bit of iconicness coming up now, the laser.
What's the Hank Scorpio line? Do you expect me to talk, Scorpio?
No, I expect you to die and have a relatively cheap funeral. And then when he gets away, stop him. He's supposed to die. The scene, it's funny you mentioned that because I was just about to say that the scene has been parodied by mainly everything.
Well, we have our parody coming up in a minute, funnily enough.
I think it's interesting how one of the only times, not just in this film, but in the entire series, where Bond looks genuinely worried is when he thinks he's about to get his cock lasered off.
Yeah. Well, nobody wants to have a laser to the ghoulies.
By the way, Sean Connery, I guess they're the same, was genuinely terrified in this scene. I'll tell you why. It's not because of a laser, because as you can tell in this Blu-ray, that is a very obvious optical effect. But because to get the effects right, they had a guy with a blowtorch underneath who was melting the surface that Sean Connery was on.
Ooh.
And it was getting dangerously close to his prick at one point.
Oh.
So it's almost, there are some shots where I think it's genuine fear
That's pretty neat.
in Mr. Connery's eyes, which I'm sure you'd be quite happy about because you don't like this version of Bond.
I imagine
you'd be quite, Mr. Bond.
Hey, you said the line.
That's the line
you
that
said
everyone
the thing.
likes.
To be honest, I haven't seen a lot of Bonds. I've seen more. I've seen a bit of Brosnan. I've seen one Daniel Craig, and I've seen now 4 Connerys.
I know that. Sorry, go on.
And I would say, of all of them that I've seen, he's charismatic. I think, because I've only ever seen Casino Royale with Craig, and I didn't really much care for him because I thought he was a bit too Cockney gangster in that one.
Daniel Craig gets better as he goes on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Connery's charismatic, but he's just... the misogyny and the lack of delivery on the puns is just...
He has charm. I mean,
Yeah.
in this scene, he manages to talk his way out of getting laser cocked. So,
Yeah. Well, this is what I'm saying. He's got the charisma.
that is very, very close.
That is genuine worry. He's got the charisma. I can give him that, certainly. It's just he's not good at delivering the one-liners as well as I think other Bonds can.
He was very fucked off, apparently, after shooting the scene.
Well, understandably, he nearly got his cock lasered off.
Exactly. I would be too.
Yeah. No, what they did was they put a very thin layer of partition glass between him and the things. He's only terrified of 2 things: cock lasers and spiders.
I love this. This might be... It's a bit of a cliche to say because it's so iconic, but this probably is my favourite scene in the whole film.
It is very good, very well directed.
It's well written, it's well directed, it's tense. It's... You genuinely get on your edge of your seat a little bit, I think, or at least I do. It's just great. And when I first saw this as a kid, I thought he literally just shot Bond then. And I realised it was just a silencer. But
Oh dear.
when I was a kid, I was like, what was they stopped the laser, but they just shot him.
What's the point?
And then I realised it was a silence gun. And now we come up to our other iconic film.
His face in this scene is amazing. Look at his little smile. He does a little smile in a minute, and it always makes me giggle.
Yeah. I think I know which bit you mean.
It's this bit. You're fucking joking me.
I must be dreaming. You know what the original line was?
Go on.
My name is Pussy Galore. I know, but what's your name?
Oh god. Oh.
Apparently
Apparently Connery
got
vetoed
Broccoli and Saltzman got a bit nervous. And the MPAA, in their wisdom, did not like the name Pussy Galore. In fact, they made the suggestion that the name should be changed to Kitty Galore.
Kitty Galore. No. See, I thought they were going to change the name to something like...
Someone clearly got their way on the production because the name stayed as Pussy Galore.
Emails were sent in 1965.
Emails were sent in 1964, and the MPA were very confused because they were like, "What is this?
What is Boss,
This is weird." I mean, there were computers back then, but they weren't capable of sending messages.
Boss, we've received an electronic communication from Cubby Broccoli. How long will it take to download? 8 years. What size is it? 4K. We've got the data banks downloading it as we speak.
Cuts a load of old footage of tape reels spinning round.
A couple of them on fire.
Yeah. Now I know in the film, there's this thing of There's this suggestion that she's a lesbian, but it's never stated overtly in the film. Really.
No, I was going to say I didn't really get the vibe of that.
In the book, it is overtly stated.
Oh.
And it is overtly stated that Bond's cock made her straight. Now, you were talking earlier about uncomfortableness with these films. I mean, it doesn't get much more uncomfortable than that.
That's pretty uncomfortable.
I'd argue that maybe... I mean, it's not all right in either version, but I'd argue in the film it's a little more palatable because it's never
overtly mentioned.
It's the bit where...
Oh, it's the airplane from the film Airplane. That is not a real airplane.
I think I'm almost certain... You can tell me this because you just watched the VHS, but was there a wire in the original VHS?
Yes, there was definitely 2 wires.
I think in the Blu-ray they airbrushed out the wire.
They've probably done that because there was definitely 2 wires on the VHS version.
Look, because there definitely wasn't a wire just then, so I remember there being a wire as a kid, so I think they probably airbrushed it out for this version.
That's a shame. It takes away from the authenticity.
There's a nice bit of continuity though from Russia with Love. She mentions his Hitachi case.
Oh, yes.
Because he says, "What happened to my Hitachi case?" And she said, "Unfortunately, it was destroyed." And he goes, "Oh, that's a shame."
Oh, dear. Oh, that was the exploding one, wasn't it?
Exactly, yeah. That's what I mean. A nice little bit of continuity.
But didn't he blow it up in From Russia and Love anyway? Didn't he set it as a trap for somebody and they opened it and it blew up?
No, because it was a talcum bomb in the case. So the case did not blow up. Yeah. It just shot smoke out of the case.
Right. So if Bond's cock can turn lesbians straight, does it turn straight men gay?
Well, that was the deleted scenes that I mentioned earlier. He converts odd job to the good guys.
The question
very long scene. The cut I have lasts for about 45 minutes.
God, the question is, was he smiling throughout?
Was he smiling? And he goes, "That was a very odd job indeed." What other jobs do you give?
Talk
if
about,
you know what I mean.
Talk about an odd job. Next time, maybe try a hand job.
And then he looks right at the camera. "I'm talking about blowjobs." Sucking my cock. That's what I'm talking about.
Are you a odd job man or a handyman? Oh, it's one of those mechanical straws that people can drink from.
It's not a straw, it's his homing beacon.
How come he always has homing beacons?
Because he's a spy.
But they never work. The only time, in fact, I was really surprised in Thunderball. Spoilers for Thunderball. I was really surprised in Thunderball.
Spoilers for that film that's been out for 50 odd years.
The viewer is not watched yet because they're watching our commentaries first and foremost as they work through the Bond films because we are the definitive Bond experience.
Don't do that. You won't learn much.
The definitive Bond experience.
No wire. Lies.
The tracker breaks in every single Bond film apart from Thunderball.
Well...
And Thunderball's the only one where it works, and it actually does something.
I assume it's because everyone in the world knows who James Bond is, because he's a shit spy. So they know that the first thing you do is break the tracker, so his CIA mates Felix can't track him and get him.
Is that why they have to change the Bond every few years? Because he's just so shit, they have to get a new face so that it's not as noticeable.
No, Dan, he's a Time Lord. That's why he has a new face. He regenerates. It's like when he regenerated George Lazenby and then he regenerated back into Sean Connery.
You wanted to revisit some of the old classics.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Goldfinger there's a lot of jokes about Donald Trump because Trump Tower is basically all gold.
Right.
And Goldfinger. Just thought I'd bring that up.
Was Donald Trump even alive in this?
Yeah.
But was he like...
He would have been... Donald Trump was born in about 60, I think.
Oh, are you talking Donald Trump Sr.?
No, I'm saying like, have you ever seen Trump Tower?
Yeah.
It's all gold, isn't it?
Yeah.
And people are comparing it to Goldfinger.
Sorry, for a second I thought you were saying Goldfinger was referencing Griffin Trump, and I was sitting there going,
no.
What? How?
No, it was not.
Is Trump a Time Lord?
No, Donald Trump did not inspire Goldfinger. That would be quite exceptional.
It would actually make more sense than the crazy mixed up world we're currently in.
No, but Goldfinger... I don't think there was any person...
Pussy galores flying...
Yeah, before Monty Python had theirs. I knew you were going to do that. Goldfinger was actually inspired by... The person himself didn't really have an inspiration, but the name was... I believe it was either Fleming's brother-in-law or someone he knew in his immediate family was called Erno Goldfinger. Oh, no, sorry, I've got that completely wrong. It was an architect. There was an architect called Erno Goldfinger.
Right.
Who Fleming did not like. So he named his villain Auric Goldfinger in his book. Now, the original architect got in touch with Fleming and was like, "I don't like this, I find this insulting, I'm going to sue you." So Fleming, in response, said that That's fine. I will change the name in the book to Gold Prick. And I guess that was literally what he said.
That is both petty, bitter, and beautiful.
I love that.
That's great.
That
is great.
I like because Ian Fleming was such a classy gentleman. I always got this vibe that like classiness just dropped him and said, he just turned around and went, "Fuck you."
No.
How do you like that?
I got apples.
Your name is going in my book, whether you fucking want it to or not. Tough titty. Mr. Fleming, what did you just say? I said tough titty to you.
You heard me.
Tough tits. Stop saying tough titty. I'll keep saying it.
So, is Pussy Galore's flying circus... Was she literally just like an airline person? Like
An airline person?
A stunt airplane person?
You mean the character?
Yeah, did she just run like a stunt airplane thing? Then Goldfinger kind of turned up and went, you look quite pretty.
I don't know, I guess the stunt airline thing is like a front, maybe.
Yeah. Because I hadn't picked up on that element of the plot as much.
Interesting, Honor Blackman already had a little bit of fame from before this, didn't she? Because she was in the Avengers.
Yes.
And later on, another Avenger woman would be a Bond girl, Diana Rigg.
Yes.
Yeah. And fucking Patrick McGee turns up later on in the Bond series. Just pillories the cast of the Avengers.
Just take out all of the blooming... Wow. They are quite pointy.
Exceptionally pointy, aren't they?
Wow. That's full on Madonna Bazoom right there.
Can you please put a quote on the screen at this point that just says, like, quote, exceptionally pointy, Dan Daly 2019?
Yes, I'll make that happen. Great, let's all go back to the showers, ladies.
I cloned them all, by the way.
But I'm not going to tell you which hairs I used.
This is meant to be Kentucky, but it's so obviously Britain.
Yeah.
Like, it's just so obviously...
The weather, the sky...
It's Pinewood, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's in like Surrey or somewhere.
It's basically Pinewood. Have you heard Disney's bought Pinewood? Or rented it indefinitely for now?
When you say rent it indefinitely, that's basically the same as owning it, isn't it?
Yeah. I can't remember whether it's bought outright or whether they've just basically rented all of the studios and all of the land.
Even the 007 stage?
The whole bloody thing.
Did you know that's what the main stage in Pinewood is called?
Really?
It's called the 007 stage.
Oh. Yeah, they've rented the entire thing and they've booked it out in such a way that it's basically theirs for the next 2 years.
Because it burnt down. There was a fire in 84, 85 and they lost a lot of studio space, so they rebuilt it. And I think Cubby Broccoli put up a lot of the money for it because he was like, Pinewood have done so much for the series. It's only right that we give something back. And so after him, they named it the 007 stage. I think it's still called that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they've bought it all out so they can do their Disney Plus shows, some of the Marvel films, Star Wars, The Mandalorian.
I'm assuming that doesn't mean that only Disney films get filmed there, because if Disney own the studio, they can make a killing from other productions renting the space out.
Well, like I said, I don't think they bought it, I just think they've rented it indefinitely.
Welcome to the latter half of this film, which Bond spends most of the time locked up.
Oh, shit, yeah, this is the boring bit where he keeps trying to contact his agent buddies who are stupid and don't notice him in trouble.
They're too busy eating KFC.
Oh, Colonel Sanders. Right, that's really badly cropped in the VHS version.
What do you mean?
Really badly. Like, all of Colonel Sanders' head is missing.
Oh, really?
All of Colonel Sanders' head is missing, and the Kentucky and Fried is missing as well. It just says, you can just make out Fried.
Do you think that's like a legal thing?
Could possibly be. But
well, it's clear and present here.
Yeah, well, on the video version, all you can make out is if you look really hard at the very top of the frame, you can just see Fried, like half of Fried, and then the word chicken.
It's one of the more egregious examples of product placement, isn't it?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Although I do like seeing that vintage 60s KFC. There's something quite nice about that.
Do you reckon Goldfinger? Yeah, Goldfinger. Do you reckon
I ate 17 pieces of KFC chicken last week.
That is in a week or in a night?
In a day.
In one sitting? That's a lot of chicken.
How are you here? I'm now fat as fuck.
How are you alive?
It was so easy.
Living the dream, man.
It was so easy.
I'd be up for that.
It was ridiculously easy. I love these guys. They're such guys and dolls cliches.
Yeah, we want to cut.
Goldfinger.
You're going to give us your money, see?
Where's my money, see?
Yeah. I want to talk. I want my cash. Yeah. Do you reckon Goldfinger gets on the hobby horse and goes for a ride round on occasion?
Oh, yeah. Look at me go on job.
He's just stood in the middle of the room smiling.
Now, I'm not the first one to make this following observation.
Right.
Roger Ebert famously noted it in his review. But Goldfinger tells these guys his grand plan and then kills them.
Yes.
Why?
Um,
He goes to the trouble of having a big fucking model of Fort Knox, and at a moment, a big evil villain board comes up for him to point at, and then he kills them all.
It's I suppose
He already had the money that they'd given to him, so he didn't need to tell them anything. He could have killed them at this point, but he feels the need to go over his big plan.
I'll tell you what it is.
Okay.
And I know this because of the profession that I work in. Goldfinger would tell them his plan so that if anything was not watertight with the plan, they would know because they are criminals. And they would point it out and say, well, how are you going to do that because of this? At which point he would then have something to explore. So then once he'd left, he could kill them all still, but he would have had a list of things that he needed to double check before he actually did anything.
I like that. That's actually really interesting. I never thought about that.
Yeah. So he tells them the plan because they're all like criminologists and safecrackers.
The popular sort of theory is that when people bring this up, the popular theory is that Goldfinger is so arrogant that he just wants to show off.
Well, there's probably that in it as well. That would make sense. But the one scenario that I don't think he really considered is, what if they all said no?
Well, he's got their money anyway, so he just killed them anyway.
Yeah, but it's $1 million each. But he said that.
But they've already given him the money.
Yeah, but he said that if they said no, they'd just leave.
Yeah.
So unless he's got like assassins to go.
You know how that Oddjob drives the car to the garage in a bit and pushes him in the cube?
Yeah.
He'd just do that one at a time.
Just smiling every time. Occasionally
He'd love
getting
it. He'd have the time. Goldfinger loves nothing better than murder because he's a baddie.
Yeah, I'd be all
And
over
he spent the time to build a very, very detailed model of Fort Knox, only for it to be wasted because all these people are about to die.
Horribly. Am I the only one who thinks that Richard Griffiths would have made a good Goldfinger?
He would. By the way, that's not Gert Frobe speaking. He was dubbed in this because Gert Frobe's English wasn't that great.
Couldn't they not have done that thing that Bela Lugosi did where he learned the script phonetically?
You can actually hear it if you look at the original trailer for this. You can hear Gert Frobe's voice, and it's not that dissimilar. So, like, I think the guy that got it to dub it was
I like
called...
this bit.
Oh yeah.
Hello.
It's a little bit of daftness.
Yeah.
In the middle of this already daft film, but still.
Hello again. You're right. Jolly good. I'm just going to disappear. See you in a bit.
He does a little wink.
Bye.
I want a gif,
Get a gif
of him going up and down.
Yeah. just going.
There probably is somewhere.
Oh, there's got to be.
Does the guard think that Bond has just vanished?
Well, that's the thing. If I was,
oh my god, he's a wizard!
If I was evil henchman number 465, the first thing that I would do if Bond ducked under the door was go, "What a silly twat! He's ducked under the door," and I wouldn't open it.
I know, right? I just think, well, what a weirdo.
He's in a locked cell. He ain't going anywhere.
And he's literally Spider-Man because there's no other way he could have got up that fucking incline.
Actually, I prefer the term Batman. Spiders are scary. I'm not scary. I'm Bond. James Bond.
Well, ironic considering this is when the series started to closely resemble the Batman TV show.
Where did his jacket go?
He took it off, presumably, because he was hot and sweaty.
That's a very expensive jacket he's just lost.
That was tailored by Savile Row, I think you'll find.
No, he's got it back
his
there.
Jacket.
How did he didn't kung fu someone through a door with his jacket in his arm?
No jacket left behind. It's like you said, Dan, that jacket was probably very expensive.
It was very expensive.
I might be risking my life imprisoned by the baddie, but I am not wasting a good jacket.
All of his opium is woven into that.
All his opium. All the opium that he's hopelessly addicted to.
Yeah. Oh, that's the only explanation.
Bond isn't an opium addict, he's a everything else addict.
Yeah. He needs help. How come they didn't do that? That should be a film. Like a One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest type thing where Bond gets put in rehab.
It's a good thing he decided to make the model hollow for no apparent reason.
Yeah, and to put it on a slightly raised platform.
There's a lot of effort that Goldfinger is putting into this.
That tiny model.
Just for just for a bit of look how big my knob is.
This was just
look at my evil plan.
This was just a hobby, you know. This started in 1936 when he just built the model, and then he just expanded and it just kept growing.
All joking aside, I do really like the monologue that Ulrich gives here. The whole bit about man has gone to the moon, he has split the atom, he's done everything, he has achievements in every field except crime. That's straight from the book.
Really?
Which, yeah. And I also love how you can tell that Connery's handwriting in that note is not the same as what's already on there.
Yeah.
Like some production assistant probably wrote it. Maybe it was the continuity girl.
It was the continuity girl who did it, yeah.
Do a good job. There's a good girl.
Man talk.
Man talk.
I'm going to put hashtag man talk in the title of this video.
One day we will cancel the lot of you.
You'll all be cancelled. But till then, man talk.
It's 1964 and we can do what we like.
You've probably got another 20, 30 years if you're lucky. Man talk. Ow. So, when does Will Ferrell turn up?
This is not Talladega Nights, the ballad of Bobby Sherman. This is Goldfinger.
Oh, I thought he was playing Mustafa, the fez-wearing assassin from Austin Powers.
It is hard to watch a lot of stuff about thinking about Austin Powers, I agree.
It's really
especially like the thing about when Dr. Evil was like, what, are you feeding him? Why don't you just kill him? I'm going to do something better. I'm going to place him in an easily escapable situation involving an overtly exotic and elaborate death.
I explain my plot in full.
Okay, God, begin the unnecessarily slow dipping mechanism.
Can you make it go slower? Great, I've written the plan down, I've put it in my pockets.
Well, where else is going to put it down?
Up my arse.
No, Dan.
That would have hurt.
Because that's happening now.
Pussy.
That's what Bond says most nights, to be fair.
Yeah.
Oh, pussy.
Says it slightly more worryingly on the weekends, you know, when it's quiet, he's come home.
He's had a few too many brandy
missions done.
54s or whatever.
He's called up the 60s sex line.
Dom Perignon.
Yeah.
That was always the champagne. Whenever Bond drinks champagne in the films, it's always Dom Perignon, which I'm assuming is some kind of product placement thing.
I'm assuming it's probably a average wine that's been made out to be quite expensive and nice.
So champagne, basically.
Yeah, effectively.
That's what you just described.
Right, viewers?
That's what champagne is, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
like Rob Lowe says in Wayne's World when he's trying to seduce Tia Carrera. It's just fizzy, sparkling wine or whatever.
Fizzy wine. Just fizzy wine.
Champagne is not champagne unless it comes from France.
Just stick some Merlot in a soda stream. Job done.
And that giant plan that I spent about 10 minutes relaying to you, well, you know, I just wanted you to die with that in your minds.
Of all the plans that I've seen in these Bond films, this one to me makes the most sense.
Well, actually, the funny thing is, I was going to wait until later to talk about this when he's talking about the plan, but they changed it from the book to make the plan make more sense. Because originally in the book, his plan was to rob Fort Knox.
Right.
And when they were writing the film, they do the same thing Bond does later on. They go, hang on, that doesn't make sense. How are you going to carry all that gold out of Fort Knox? It'll take you about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Gold is heavy.
Really heavy.
So that's when they came up with the plan that he does in the film, where he's not going to rob Fort Knox. He's just going to ruin the supply to basically send the country into a ginormous depression.
I mean, nothing would hurt in him taking maybe a couple of trucks of gold away whilst he's doing that.
But Goldfinger's fucking loaded. He looks like he has all the gold he could ever need.
Pull lots a couple more trucks.
Yeah.
It's a choice between being a quadrillionaire and a septillionaire, you know.
And the funny thing is as well, no one actually knows what the inside of Fort Knox looks like.
Nobody?
Nobody. When they approached the US military to ask if they could like do a recce in Fort Knox, and they said no. No one goes in Fort Knox. So
how did they do the security for it?
What do you mean?
Well, surely there must be somebody there with a gun to stop people who do try to break in.
No, what I mean is the production approached like the government to say, we're doing a Bond film, the big climax takes place in Fort Knox, can we have a look around Fort Knox? And they said, no, you can't.
Oh.
So
What's going on there?
So Ken Adam had to basically just design it from his own imagination as what he imagined Fort Knox would look like.
Wow.
Like, I imagine it's probably, like, you'll see later on, he builds this very extravagant, like, palace. And Fort Knox probably doesn't look like that at all. It's probably just like a tiny little room with some vaults.
And a load of gold.
And it's probably just quite boring.
I mean, I kind of hope that Fort Knox looks exactly like how it's portrayed in Goldfinger.
I like to think the US Army saw Goldfinger and then designed Fort Knox around it.
Yeah.
It's like, we want to make this look cool, damn it.
Yeah, let's put an elevator in that moves incredibly slowly. Let's have a massive stairwell that takes a lumbering man like 2 minutes to climb down.
Yeah. Cubby Broccoli said to Ken Adam, apparently his words were, said, I want you to make a cathedral of gold. It was like, because we don't know what Fort Knox looks like, so just do what you want. Just go crazy.
Is that a camera effect?
What do you mean?
With Oddjob's eyes in the rearview mirror?
It's probably an optical effect, isn't it?
I wasn't sure, because it looked too clean to be a mirror's reflection, you know what I mean?
It's more than likely an optical effect, isn't it? Because I don't think an actual camera at that time would be able to capture that properly, would it?
No. Hello. Goodbye.
Now I've already shot you. You're already dead. But now we're going to waste some time by crushing you in a cube.
You have 10 minutes to move your cadaver. You have 5 minutes to move your cadaver. Your cadaver has been impounded.
The thing is,
your cadaver has been crushed into a cube. You have 15 minutes to move your cadaver.
Why go to the effort? Because he was a gangster. The police probably weren't going to be that bothered if they found his dead body.
Yeah, but Jimmy the Hat's going to be absolutely livid. Hey, boss, where's the boss?
Considering Ulrich Goldfinger has just wiped out most of the US mafia, according to this film.
So technically, Goldfinger's the hero in this movie.
Yes,
Bond is actually trying to undo that.
Bond is the baddie. He's a sexist, misogynist, rapist baddie.
Who loves the mafia? Well, they all have good suits and they like drinking brandy, so, you know.
I like how this exotic, locale Bond film, we now find ourselves in a car scrapyard.
This was actually Pine Studios still, but it was after the fire.
This really upset quite a few American cinemagoers at the time.
Really?
Seeing that car get totaled.
Is it a caddy?
Yeah. Because they thought it was like, I don't know, I guess they saw it as like this expensive symbol, this car that most Americans will never be able to afford, and that it's just being destroyed.
It'd be like if they were to crush a Lotus in this day and age, or a Bugatti.
Well, they stuck a Lotus underwater in a subsequent film, as you'll come to see.
I look forward to it.
Yes.
Do you reckon Oddjob has a mixtape for this type of stuff?
For what? For getting rid of cadavers?
Yeah, it's Getting Rid of Cadavers mixtape.
What would be on this Getting Rid of Cadavers mixtape?
Going Underground by The Jam.
There would have been no tapes back then, Dan, so he would have had a mixed vinyl.
Or an 8-track.
He would have had a vinyl player in his car that would, every time the car went over a speed bump, it would skip.
Bowie had one, didn't he?
John Lennon had one.
Yeah. It's just...
I always thought that, like, that would be rubbish because every time your car went over a slight bump or incline,
you've wrecked your record.
The record would skip.
Yeah. Unless it was in some kind of hermetically sealed unit of some description where...
I read somewhere that was the case. Like, Lennon had that famous, like, Rolls Royce, the one that he painted with all crazy hippie colours. And it had a record player in it that had, like, a thing to keep it level. I don't know, maybe that's bad.
How often do you reckon Oddjob goes to get cars crushed with cadavers inside them? Because he seems to be on good terms with the car crusher.
That's what I noticed, actually. I've never noticed that before. But, like, when Oddjob, he steps out the car and the claw comes in virtually immediately.
Yeah.
Maybe that's one of his superpowers.
Oh, great.
He has invulnerability, super strength, and he can summon car claws at will.
Oh, great, that crazy Korean guy's back
Wouldn't it
again
be
with
funny?
another car.
I just thought, wouldn't it be funny if, like, the final fight in a bit where he's fighting Oddjob,
Yeah.
out of nowhere a car claw just comes from the ceiling.
Picks Connery up. moves him into a car crushing.
It just comes out of nowhere. Oddjob's got that shitty grin on his face.
It turns out it's his best friend, and then it actually cuts to the wide.
No, there's no one operating the claw. It just appears.
Just smashes through the roof of Fort Knox. But then it pulls out to a wide, and it's revealed it's just in his imagination. He's just stood there smiling, and Connery's just looking at, what the fuck is this guy doing?
You know, we've been to Miami, we've been to Switzerland, we've been to very exotic places.
We've been to Kentucky.
That's what I'm about to say. We're now in fucking Kentucky.
Well,
Not exactly the most exotic place in the world.
Home of the fried chicken.
As we found out in that rather egregious bit of product placement.
How much chicken do you reckon you could physically eat?
Me,
Yeah.
personally.
Yeah, well, you've already said you've had 17 in a day, but if you could just have one sitting,
I don't know, 18.
you could eat 18 pieces of chicken in one sitting.
Sure.
You're sat at a table in a Kentucky Fried Chicken. You've got probably like a couple of hours, and
Oh,
you're going to be like...
I like this. We can interrupt talking about my unhealthy, disastrous eating habits for a second. I just like this shot here. Where it's like, Goldfinger's taking no chances. He's got, 7 guys watching him. James Bond starts doing that again, even though there's no door.
Yeah. Everybody raises their guns slightly.
One of them looks confused. The other taps on the shoulder and goes, "No, don't fall for it again.
No.
Don't fall for the.
Holds his shoulder, stop him from walking forwards.
Don't fall for the creeping the dad joke again, where it's like, oh, I better go down the stairs."
Yeah, I decided in the car, because I went to pick Ben up today so that we could do these commentaries, I've decided to affectionately refer to Sean Connery's Bond as Randy Grandad. Or Randy Grandpa.
I still like to think of him as Brexit man.
Brexit Dad is a pretty solid one, but
that Bond would be all in favour of Brexit.
yeah,
He'd
love
love it.
Queen and Country, isn't it? And he'd just keep talking about sovereignty over and over again.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, he'd be all over that.
absolutely. He's a very. Although saying that, it's interesting because Ian Fleming, despite his pretensions, always. That's the bit where he's like, I like this. This is the bit where he's like, oh shit. But yeah, like, despite his pretensions, Ian Fleming actually had a bit of an anti-snobbery approach to him. Like, he wasn't really fond of upper class, like,
Jingoism.
pretensions. Yeah.
Yeah.
He even though he was a bit of a snob himself about certain things, he didn't really sort of buy into it all that much. In fact, there's a great bit in on Her Majesty's Secret Service, the book, where Bond spends a good part of that book pretending to be a guy from the Treasury called Sir Hilary Bray, and he pretends to be his part is he's playing this upper class guy, and then when he stops being that, Bond picks up a tabloid and he gets some bacon and eggs from a cafe. And I always think that that's interesting, as like he paints Bond as someone who almost like acts snobby, but deep down is probably a bit of a,
a bit of an I'm all right Jack too.
Yeah.
I can't envision Bond reading The Sun.
Well, I guess he reads a tabloid in On Her Majesty's Secret Service. I guess it wouldn't be The Sun because that didn't exist, but
The Mirror,
did
maybe?
it exist? I don't know.
The Mirror's a tabloid.
Yeah, probably read that.
I imagine retired Bond would be a Daily Mail reader. Oh, definitely.
Absolutely. Retired Bond would just be he'd be that bloke in the pub who starts every sentence with, "I'm not a racist, right?" But,
But, right. I went to Germany once, met them.
I'm not a racist, right? But I've shot a lot of Koreans in my time.
Through a gold...
I've shot lots of Koreans.
through a gold bar at one of them once. Didn't even
I
phase him.
electrocuted them in Fort Knox, mate.
Didn't even
He'd
phase
be
him.
that guy who no one believes his stories. He's just a crazy old man in the pub.
Yeah. All
Whereas,
right,
like,
settle down.
He's like, "I've been to space.
Yeah.
I fought Space Hitler.
No, yeah, right,
I
sure.
fought a
okay.
man with a metal mouth.
Yeah, sure. Metal Mouth Man on the Moon. Okay, you keep...
I knocked Christopher Walken off the fucking Golden Gate Bridge.
Next you'll be telling me you had karate fights with Christopher Lee. Yeah.
He didn't have karate fights with Christopher Lee.
Shut up.
He had a duel with Christopher Lee.
With karate fights.
Now, that would have made The Man with the Golden Gun very good.
That
If that duel at the end was just a karate fight.
Between Christopher Lee and Roger Moore.
He does a bit of Venusian Aikido on him.
Oh, sorted. That's a very little purple suit.
It's a very extremely purple suit. Prince would have been very proud.
Oh, yes. It's purple badness.
Yeah.
So is he still wearing a wig?
Absolutely.
Doesn't
Like
get
I said, day one, scene one,
Wig.
wig. If you ever want to knock Bond down a peg or two, just look at him and go, wig.
Wig. Wouldn't it be great if for just one take?
Sorry, not wig, toupee. Because that's what it is.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be great if for just one take, in one scene, for a blink and you'll miss it moment, there was no toupee? Just baldy Bond.
You know, like,
Baldy Bond.
did you ever see where he's doing like a reverse shot where he's chatting with someone, and then just for one of the shots, he's bald, and then when we cut back, it's back on.
Yeah. No one says anything. No one acknowledges it.
Yeah.
This is a bit...
So this is everyone's favourite scene.
I'm feeling uncomfortable.
I mean...
Ah.
Look, from a story point of view, Bond, the character, right, is probably... Now, I'm not trying to justify any of this before you say anything, but Bond is probably thinking, I need to stop Goldfinger from fucking nuking Fort Knox and ruining the economy. How do I do that? If I can get Pussy Galore on my side to mess about with the flight, then that will work.
Are you literally saying, how can I get this woman on my side? My penis, of course.
But, I mean... I don't know.
My penis, of course. It solves every problem.
I mean, she's literally...
Apart from the lawsuits.
I mean, she's literally fighting him off there. I mean...
Yeah, that's not good. And it gets worse because in Thunderball there's a very similar... No. I feel uncomfortable. Oh dear.
It's of its time. That doesn't make it right, but it's of its time.
You can't undo what has been done.
No.
Well, you could edit it out, but then that's...
No, because then it's not what it... No, because I don't agree with that.
I don't agree with that either.
It's not what it was.
No. It's like when they removed the N-word from all of the BBC programmes in the 60s. It sort of takes away from the history of the show. It's almost like saying it didn't happen, but it did happen.
Yeah.
And it kind of paints history.
I don't know how I feel about that, because I'm all for never having to watch stuff like that. Again, like, I'm kind of glad, I don't know how you feel about this, but that scene in... I'm sorry, but we're not going to talk about Bond for a few minutes, but that scene in The Celestial Toymaker.
Oh, yes, the eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
Yes. Now, I'm all for the fact... I'm quite pleased that that does not exist. And we're not going to get a DVD release where a Doctor Who serial where a not very nice word is said. And it's not commented on or passed on. It just happens.
It does exist, but Mark Ayres, who's the chief sound engineer for all Doctor Who soundtracks, has purposely made a point of removing it on every version that's been commercially available. You can get off-air fan recordings where the original line is intact, but he's purposely manipulated any official releases.
See, you know what? As much as I'm not keen on censorship, part of me is sort of like, well, I understand the logic behind that.
Well, it's a kid show.
Because it's a kid show, and Doctor Who fans probably, we don't want to hear that in Doctor Who.
No,
and that
seems like a reasonable choice.
So I can see how the decision was made. I always think that, like, I don't really mind them doing it on the official versions. If people really want to hear the off-air recordings, they're there. They'll be there if you want to hear it.
You've got to go to some length to just hear one word being said. You know what I mean?
I know.
But you get stuff like...
But then you get weird people, don't you, on Gallifrey base?
Yeah.
They still call it Gallifrey base.
Oh yeah, it's still Gallifrey base.
I didn't know if it had gone back to Outpost Gallifrey.
No, still Gallifrey base. Although then you get series like... what's the series with Alf Garnett in?
Till Death Do Us Part.
That's the one. Where the N-word was thrown around quite a lot in that series. And that kind of stuff, because it was not set for children, I feel is a bit more justifiable. I don't agree with it, but like I say, it's trying to erase history.
Anyway, back to the film Goldfinger. They got actual soldiers to do all this.
Does Goldfinger say the N-word at any point?
No. Oh man, wait to get to live and let die though.
Oh jeez.
They got actual soldiers to do all these, to be extras.
It's pretty neat.
Which I always thought was weird because it's like the US military denied permission for them to go to Fort Knox, but they were happy to loan them a couple of blokes.
A couple of armies.
Yeah.
I want to know how Goldfinger got so many connections. He's got a ton of connections with Korean militia, and he's also got a flight squadron of lesbians with pointy boobies.
A flight squadron of lesbians.
With pointy boobies.
Do you think he put a job listing in like a paper?
Flight squad wanted. Must be lesbicious. Boobies pointy preferable. See Mr. G Finger.
Must all be strange Aryan blondes.
With blue eyes.
Yes.
Must be interested in potentially having intercourse with Scottish man.
And or large mute Korean man.
Yeah. Did Odd Job have that bit put in? He read it over his shoulder and just went,
Maybe, yeah.
Odd Jobs, the last 4 women I bought you broke in 3 weeks. Okay, fine.
Oh no, not Felix.
Now, there was one bit that I didn't quite get. So, are they playing dead at this point?
Yes.
Yes, I thought so. Because I know that there's a bit where they just suddenly jolt awake, and I wasn't sure whether it was just because the gas had worn off or whether it was part of a plan.
No, that's the whole reason Bond seduced Pussy Galore. Because she swapped the nerve gas for just like normal
Febreze.
Yeah. That's the whole point, because the plan was kill all the soldiers with nerve gas so Goldfinger can just waltz into Fort Knox.
Right.
But the whole reason Bond seduced Pussy Galore was so she could get her her Monty Python's Flying Circus to take out the gas canisters.
I hope you realise now I'm just imagining Pussy Galore's flight squadron to be a load of the Pythons but in women's clothes.
So all the soldiers are just playing dead because they're going to ambush, as you'll see, they're going to ambush Goldfinger when he gets into Fort Knox.
Because that was the only bit where I was kind of sat there going, how did that work? Why did they suddenly all get up again? I suppose they were all knocked out.
There's a line where at the end when it's like, it's a good thing you got Pussy to swap the gas around.
Jiminy Jillica's radioactive, man. So is this what Fort Knox looks like?
That's what I believe that's pretty close to what the actual outside building looks like, but no one knows what the inside looks like because it's like a top level government secret.
So there are some people who know what it looks like.
Well,
but they're all like top level.
I imagine quite high ranking, important people. Like I imagine like Donald Trump, maybe. I guess he's the president. I guess he'd
upsetting.
I guess he'd know what it looks like.
First thing I would do as president is go, right, let's go to Area 51. I want to see what that's all about.
I want to see what that's all about.
That'd be my exact words.
Can I have a look? Mr. Do you not want to have a meeting about the economy, about your health budget, your education budget?
Mr. President, please.
I'm more concerned about my alien budget.
I want to see the aliens. Let me see them. Take me to Area 51, and then I want to go to Burger King, and then I want to go to Fort Knox.
You are Donald Trump. You eat nothing but Burger King and McDonald's.
I like their bacon double cheese XLs. They're very delicious. Top tier takeaway.
Donald Trump is he eats nothing but McDonald's, and he's going to live to be 108.
He reminds me of my friend who recently passed his driving test.
He's going to outlive all of us, and he eats nothing but McDonald's.
It's because he's perfectly preserved. It suffers from Ringo syndrome.
Ringo syndrome?
Yeah, he's just pickled. After years of eating horrible food, he's become preserved.
Ringo quit drinking. Donald Trump has not quit being a fat fuck.
But Ringo only quit drinking in the public space. He's currently still sitting in his tank of isopropyl every night.
I'm not quite sure you know that, really. Is it really safe to carry a nuclear bomb like that?
Yeah, fine.
Because that's a nuclear bomb they've got on the side of that helicopter.
Yeah, it's fine. Just drop it. Just drop it, mate.
Boom!
Boing, boing, boing.
Goldfinger gets out. Fucking hell, will you be careful with that?
Goldfinger has no neck.
Because he's fat.
No, it's because he's wearing 80,000 layers of coat.
In a very, very sunny weather.
In a very sunny weather. He must have been very uncomfortable.
In sunny Pinewood Studios weather.
Now, this isn't racist, but why specifically Koreans?
Because, Dan, they were the baddies. What happened a few years prior to this? The Korean War.
Well, I was going to say Vietnam as well.
And Vietnam, which would have been sort of getting kicked off around this time.
Well, Vietnam was 1958 to 1974. So, ew.
It's like why do a lot of modern films have Middle Eastern people as baddies? Because that is like the standard thing that people want to see. Sadly, they need that boogeyman figure, and 9 times out of 10 in history, we always need a foreign figure for the boogeyman, don't we? Whether it's Koreans or Russians or Asians or anything.
How come
so when you were watching this, you genuinely thought that they just woke up of their own volition?
Well, I assumed one of two things. I
know the plot's a bit creaky, but it's not that bad.
I assumed one of two things. I thought either that they tampered with the gas so that it still knocked them out, but not as badly as they were intending to be knocked out. Or
no, they all just play dead. Which I always thought was a bit of a shit plan anyway, because you know that your baddie is about to walk into somewhere with a nuke. Why don't you just, before he even gets into Fort Knox, everyone stand up, put your guns up, shoot.
Yeah. Well, make sure he's got out the helicopter first, because otherwise he could just and up and off.
Yeah.
And why tie Bond to the nuke?
Because I guess Goldfinger is just like, this is what you get for fucking with me for the last 2 weeks.
Couldn't they just shoot him, though?
But then, Dan, you wouldn't have a film. So that's the answer to that question, isn't it? When people say that, why don't you just shoot him? Because there wouldn't be a film.
Is this just one of the golden rules of Bond? Don't ask, why can't they just shoot him?
It's one of the Goldfinger rules of Bond. Just don't shoot him.
I'm surprised we haven't done a Bowie reference yet.
Well, Bowie was asked to play the part of Max Zorin in A View to a Kill, the part that eventually went to Chris Walken. But he declined it because Bowie's quote was, "I didn't want to watch my stunt double fall off mountains for the next 3 weeks."
Yeah, it seems legit.
Even though you can totally see how they wanted Bowie to play that part, because I think he would have been really good.
Well, I have all that to look forward to.
Yeah. Oh, I like this. Goldfinger, he's the man with the golden gun before Scaramanga.
I was going to say, I thought that was an in reference when I saw it, because I spotted it.
Thank you, man with German accent I've never met.
Oh no, betrayed by my own people. Now I know.
Thank you, large man with conspicuous German accent.
Now I know how Rambo feels.
I just think that's so dumb, that bit.
Try it next time you're at work. Just walk past somebody and start talking like you know what you're talking about in a position you have no control over, and see whether people believe you.
They look that way. Get on, boys. Why are you talking in a German accent, Ben? Be quiet.
A pocket. Just what I need.
It's got the key. That's what he's after. Crash zoom into man's pocket. That's what.
Thus becomes the slowest tension-building scene.
Oddjob is subservient to Goldfinger to the point of absolute madness. As far as Oddjob's concerned, he's about to get fried by a nuclear bomb.
Yeah.
And he somehow wants to prevent Bond from stopping this. That's what I mean about Oddjob. It's like, it's insane subservience.
Well, that's why I questioned his capability, his capacity. Because I was of the opinion that a rational, logical, intelligent person wouldn't...
The chap who played Oddjob, Harold Sakata, was a wrestler, which is probably not much of a surprise.
Oh.
And he dined out on this for many, many years. He appeared as Oddjob in a series of adverts.
Oh.
I can't remember what the adverts were for. But they're probably... What?
Hats.
Hats? No, they were for like a soft drink or something.
Fanta.
No, not Fanta. But he was probably...
That's another bit.
What?
Oh, I shall jump at him. That'll get rid of him. No, Bond, you mentalist. No.
Bond, just do what you did with Pussy Galore, just seduce him.
You just broke a bar in half and you thought you could jump it.
That face. He's just looking at Bond like, you're such a twat.
You're an idiot.
Did you really think that would hurt me? I'm about 8 foot.
You just tried jumping on me and I threw you across the room like a donut.
My muscles have muscles. Come on.
Try better. It's good to see Unit back on the scene.
Mm-mm. The Brigadier would sort our job out.
2 seconds, mate.
Chap with a hat there. 5 rounds rapid.
Which hat, sir?
I'm talking about the Scottish alcoholic.
Oh, him. We can take him out in 2 seconds, mate. He's rubbish. Shifty-eyed Korean there. 5 rounds rapid. It's in the book. It's in the book. Apparently.
Paraphrased by me.
Paraphrased by Ben.
I could be lying through my teeth, you don't know.
Well, if that's the case, it's accidental racism, to which I already apologise.
You know, I never lie.
Ben always tells the near truth.
It's good enough for me.
Oddjob can split a statue in half and kill someone by throwing a hat at them. He just punched Bond in the stomach after breaking a bar in half, and Bond is still alive.
You could argue that Oddjob is clearly a bit of a sadist and is probably toying with him. Because look, he does the get up thing.
He's just playing about.
Yeah. He's clearly a bit of a sadist, as this film's proven many times. So it could be argued that he's a bit too confident. He's a bit too cocky. And he's just toying with Bond.
Really good point.
That's why Bond has to outsmart him instead of fight him. Because look at him, he's like, hey, twat, I'm just going to go reach for my hat.
Boom! Impressive.
A stunt that nearly killed Harold Sakata, apparently.
Really?
I mean, all the sparks flying near him.
Jeez.
Not very nice.
He's still alive, you know.
I know he is.
No, I mean, he's still alive in the film. He just fell over.
Oh. If they could bring him back.
Yeah. He'll be back against Daniel Craig.
That'd be good. even though Daniel Craig films are technically a reboot, fuck it.
Why not? Why
Actually, I say they're a reboot, but then Skyfall acts as if this film happened, so I don't fucking know. Who cares? Anyway.
Don't ask too many questions.
Bond fans have a way of dealing with continuity, as in they don't deal with continuity. Just fuck it, who cares?
Treat each film as its own thing, and if they mention other films, see that as a bonus.
If they mention other films, then great. But
treat it each as its own.
Yeah.
And don't ask why he can't just be shot. Oh no! Oh no!
Sure, that would be a very unpleasant way to die.
Crushed by a vault door.
Yeah.
Yee.
This is the vault where Prince stores all his unreleased music videos.
Yeah, this is the Prince archive.
This is the same vault.
Quick, gotta get into the trunk.
Inexpicuous gold bars everywhere.
Yeah. This is where I'm keeping the masters for Purple Rain.
So I mean, the soldiers, Goldfinger's army, they're also strangely loyal. As far as they're concerned, they must know that they're about to get nuked too.
Well, yeah. Effectively. That being said, they could all just be the thick
So that's what the inside of a nuclear bomb looks like. It looks like a game of Buckaroo.
Okay, put the saddle on, put the bag on.
Oh no, I forgot the horseshoe. cut to Fred's.
Funnily enough, we're recording.
There's a few Bond films that use nuclear bombs as the Deus Ex Machina, and I always thought it'd be funny if they just treated it in a Fred's way, super realistic.
Yeah, countdowns and everything.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, we're recording this on the day that Threads was first broadcast in the UK.
Is that so?
35 years ago today.
Oh, trivia.
Our commentary on Threads was one of the first we recorded.
And then Bond doesn't even get to save the day.
You're saved by Linkara.
He's saved by a pun. Get it? Did you get it, Dan?
That was the best delivery of a pun he's done all film.
But that's what I mean. I know you don't like it, but I like the way Connery just throws the line away.
It just,
he blew a fuse. So
it's just he does it. I've only seen a couple of more films, but I do like the fact that he really loves those puns.
I know I said this before, but we weren't being recorded for YouTube posterity. So originally it was going to end on 003. That's why Bond's line just then, when he said, 3 more clicks and Goldfinger would have hit the jackpot. Made sense.
Mm.
But they changed it for 007 for the sake of a naff joke.
That's rubbish.
Why not?
It's really bad. No biscuit. Nope. This is a teetotal flight, 007.
I'm not getting on this fucking plane.
I-
The president can suck my cock.
Well, funnily enough, the president at the time that this film was made was...
Lyndon B. Johnson.
Yes. Who was...
Yeah.
Oh.
What are you getting at?
Right, hang on, I sent you this.
Same shot from earlier, reversed.
I sent you a message about this. Just 1 second.
Scrambling
I'm going
around.
to scramble to find them.
You're in a bit of a panic here.
Yeah, I've got to get it before Goldfinger gets sucked off.
Uh-oh. Wait a minute. It ain't over yet, boys. They just threw that line in there so you'd remember what a gun shot in a plane actually does.
Mm. So is this where Goldfinger gets sucked off?
This is where Goldfinger gets sucked off. Yes.
Right. So I sent you a message when I first watched this to say in 1964 the president was Lyndon B. Johnson, a Democrat, and a particularly left-leaning Democrat at that.
Was it?
Bond would never agree to go to dinner with a commie.
He wasn't that much of a left-leaning Democrat, Dan, considering he wanted the Vietnam War to continue.
Oh, yeah, but John F.
If
Kennedy...
he was that left-leaning, he would have fucking done what Kennedy did and tried to order troops out.
Well, yeah, but Kennedy was a left-leaning Democrat, and he was overseeing
No,
the Vietnam War whilst it was happening.
No, Kennedy wanted to end the Vietnam War.
Well, he was going whilst he was there.
But he was going to end it. It's not as simple as that. You can't just click your fingers and get a war over. It's more complicated than that.
It's pretty straightforward. You just go, right, we're not fighting anymore.
Which is that's why he died, Dan.
Not fighting anymore.
I know. Okay, I know you. Probably everyone listening is going to be like, "All right, get your fucking tinfoil hat on, Ben." But that's why Kennedy died, because he wouldn't pull troops out of Vietnam.
Mm.
So the people who wanted to stay in Vietnam made sure that he wasn't fucking re-elected. He said, "If I get re-elected, troops will pull out of Vietnam."
Mm.
And that is a very tiny miniature plane that just blew up in the Pinewood lot there.
Meanwhile, in Ian Fleming's back garden, shots of Nam again.
They don't look very Vietnamese, don't they?
And there he is molesting again.
And like most Sean Connery Bond films, we end with him averting the chance of rescue so he can get off with some fanny. Or pussy, I should say. Oh, Goldfinger. It's just great, isn't it?
It's an alright film. It's pretty solid.
It's not alright, it's
You
great.
could say it's 24 karat gold.
The end of quote, Goldfinger, end quote. But James Bond will be back.
In?
Quote, Thunderball,
Oh,
end quote.
crap. So yeah, we're going to do Thunderball.
Mm.
That's the next film.
This is the start of them doing the Bond will be back in X film.
Who's Tosh Togo?
Tosh Togo. That was Howard Carter's real. That was his wrestling name.
Ah, right.
So Howard Carter was his real name, but Tosh Togo was like his stage name, and they felt the need to include that too. I guess
to do both.
Yeah. Made on location in Switzerland and Pinewood Studios.
Copyright Danjak.
Danjak. Do you know Danjak was a company that it's quite a sweet story actually. You know. I don't know if you know about like most major Hollywood studio films. They'll set up like a holding company, won't they?
Mm.
Like a temporary company just to make the film.
Yeah.
And Danjak was the company that Broccoli and Saltzman set up. It was the name of their wives.
Oh.
So it was like Danielle and Jacqueline.
Oh.
Danjak.
Danjak.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice. So that was Goldfinger. It's alright. It's an alright film. But
Goldfinger for me is like is often cited as like, oh, it's the most iconic one, it's the best one of the early ones, and it's the only film that appeared in that one of those like, you know, those books that's like 101 films you must see before you die a horrible death. and Goldfinger's the only one that appears in it, which I think is quite unfair because there's
Yeah.
better films in the series than Goldfinger, I think.
Oh, I'd agree.
It's definitely the most important. It's probably one of the most important of the series because it established all the things that you Dan are going to see over the next few months.
Well, hey.
They appear first in Goldfinger. Goldfinger set the standard,
Right.
and it was definitely a turning point because it was the point when they decided, you know what, we don't want to make serious spy thrillers. We want to make cartoons,
Even better.
and that's what we're going to do from now on.
Fantastic.
We're going to make big, daft, silly action movies.
Apart from the next film where we're going to make it a little bit boring.
But even Thunderball is noticeably a bit more outlandish and sillier than something like From Russia with Love.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I mean, Jetpack.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
But yeah, Goldfinger's very good. For me, it's very good as a iconic bit of cinema that is important and made a difference. For me, as a film, it probably loses track about an hour and a half in.
Yeah.
And then the last third of Goldfinger, I'm really not a fan of. I don't think Bond doesn't do much really in the last third. He has a good fight with Oddjob. He manages to kill Oddjob, but he doesn't even get to stop the nuclear bomb at the end of the film. Someone else just comes in and goes, "Yeah, pull the plug out, mate. Just fucking pull the plug out." There you go.
Got to restart Windows, innit?
That's what they should do with Fred's. Why not just pull the plug out?
Sorted. War wouldn't have happened. Wouldn't have
Exactly.
happened. So what score are you giving it? Because we don't normally do scores.
I forgot
but for the
what-
Bond films, we're doing scores.
Oh, I totally forgot we were doing scores.
Mm-hmm.
Out of 10,
Out of 10. And we don't do halves.
I'd probably give it. You do halves.
We don't do halves.
When we did Doctor Who, you did halves.
We did halves
all the time.
Yeah, but you made a rule of not doing halves in the last two.
Yes, and then my word is authority.
It's what goes because you're leading the marathon.
I'll
so.
give it an 8.
An 8 out of 10.
Yes,
Good,
and
solid
It is a solidly directed, solidly entertaining film that maybe gets a bit too arrogant in its last third and sort of relies too much on your tolerance of James Bond, the character, and it kind of assumes that you'll enjoy spending time with him even if the plot isn't giving him much to do.
Yeah.
Which maybe there is a little bit of truth in that. I don't know, but you know, this is probably the high point of Connery's Bond.
Oh dear.
Even though I don't think it's my personal favourite of the Connery Bonds is You Only Live Twice.
Ooh.
But we're not up to that one
No,
yet,
we've got
so
a
we
little
can't
bit to
talk
go,
about
yeah.
it. Yeah,
That's one of the ones I haven't seen either, so I don't know anything about that one.
in for a treat.
Right. So I'm going to seem like a bit of a pessimist for this one. Really like the direction. I think the direction is one of its strongest things. The cine is also quite nice. Performances generally all round are really good. Goldfinger as a villain is very nice, and Oddjob as a henchman is fantastic. I think they're arguably some of the better pairings of the classic era of Bond for me. I think that some of the action pieces are very nice. I like the storming of Fort Knox. I think that's a very fun
The laser.
final scene. I like the laser. The laser is good. However, Connery's Bond is starting to grate on me a little bit in terms of just how misogynistic, sexist, generally boring and awful he can be. Even though he's charismatic, he's starting to become a character that I love to hate, which I don't think is the right tone for a Bond film necessarily.
Well, I don't know. I think that there's an element of Bond where my feeling about him was there's always an element of him where, because I don't think your average cinema goer can't really relate to Bond as a person, because no one can relate to a superhero secret agent man who can literally shag any girl he wants to shag, and he drinks all the booze and enjoys all the exotic food and locations. No one can relate to that.
No.
So my
What
theory
do
about
you
Bond
mean,
is
then?
you're not meant to relate to him. You are meant to kind of see him as a little bit of a figure of fun in these films.
Yeah.
You are meant to not overtly laugh at him, but kind of see him for what he is, which is kind of a character.
And I think I might warm to that more in later films.
Yeah, maybe when we start to switch our actors up a bit,
Yeah.
you might warm to him more.
I can
see you really enjoying Roger's portrayal.
Well, I'd like I say, the most I've seen have been from Moore's era, and I have enjoyed those films when I've seen them. for all the stuff that would be going for it, I would give it an 8, but because of a real slowdown at the end of the second act and the start of the third act, just before the start of Storming a Fortnight.
It does lose steam,
Yeah.
plot-wise, but then Goldfinger is one of those films that's so arrogant and brashy and cocky that it almost goes, yeah, we know we've lost the plot, but who gives a shit?
Well, this is
You're still entertained.
This is it. The first act is good and solid. The third act is relatively solid. So the second act is just a problem. And with Connery as well, if I was allowed to give it half marks, I'd give it 7.5.
Yeah.
But we don't do half marks, which means I have to give it a 7 because I don't feel it's earned an 8 from me at this stage. Once I've watched them all, I might go back and watch it again and see whether it's been bumped up by having the knowledge of all of the films there.
Yeah.
But having only seen these 4 of his era, which includes the next one we'll be watching as well, I don't feel like I've seen the best of his performances or the best of the potential of his performances yet.
That's a shame because this is the best he does.
Then I'm in
So
trouble.
if you don't feel that you've seen the best, then
It's all downhill from here.
I was saying that I really do like You Only Live Twice, but not because of him, but because of everything else going on in that film. He just happens to be there.
So yes, I would give it a 7. And that is my
Good for you.
that is my word. So
The theme alone gets a 10 out of 10 for me.
it's a good theme. It's a good theme.
Shirley Bassey would, of course, she was a fountain. They kept coming back to her again and again. She did Diamonds Are Forever.
Mm-hmm.
She did Moonraker. I personally think they should get her in for the next one.
That'd be
Just
good.
as like a nice little
Little nod.
homage, yeah.
Which Bond film was that? Was it the 25th one or?
The one coming up
Yeah.
will be the 25th one, yeah.
And we've just dated it. So, thank you for joining us again on the Comedy Dining Experience. We're going to go and eat some pizza now and get queued up, ready for another wonderful film. And remember to smack the like button and do the subscribey thing. And
That was a line from the film.
That was a good line from
That
us.
was a line from the film Goldfinger. Goldfinger starring Sean Connery and Honor Blackman.
And if you want
Directed
to
by
send,
Guy Hamilton.
and if you
Released in 1964
and,
by United Artists.
do you want to say goodbye, Ben?
No.
Okay. Bye.